All right, hello kindergarten and first grade. This week we're gonna be doing a drawing of the pigeon from the pigeon books. So if you are online and you have not watched the pigeon story that's posted in the Google Classroom, go ahead and watch that story first because that's the pigeon that we're gonna be drawing today. So I'm gonna go through like I normally do, step by step, and show you how to draw the pigeon. And then we're gonna color it, and you guys are gonna get to add your own lines as your own artist choice to the background. So I made my pigeon standing on the floor, and then I got to make my own wall. So I got to design my own wall. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do this step by step. So go ahead and get out your pencils. Your paper is gonna be up and down today, not side to side, so we're working up and down. I'm gonna move my pigeon drawing over. Okay. All right, the first thing that we're gonna start with is the pigeon's head. The pigeon's head is the shape of a circle. So I'm gonna start at the top with a circle. Now, notice my pigeon's head is not teeny tiny and it's not super big. So I need my pigeon head to be about this big and close to the top because we have all this space down here that we're gonna fill with his body. So I don't wanna see a pigeon head super teeny tiny, but not super big either, okay? So it should look like this, kinda up towards the top and in the middle of our picture. Then we're gonna add the pigeon's eye. So the pigeon has a circle eye on the inside, and then he's got one more that we're gonna fill in, and that is his eyeball. Now he needs a beak, and we've drawn beaks before, but this pigeon kind of has a curved line beak instead of a straight line beak. So I'm gonna do a curved line down and a curved line up. And now I'm gonna go kind of halfway in between that curved line and add one more. So his top beak is longer than his bottom beak. So that's our pigeon's head. Now we can go ahead and move on to the neck. The neck is two diagonal lines. And we've been working with those. Those are the ones that are a little bit slanted or they go kind of side to side. So you're gonna do a diagonal line. And notice my diagonal line is really long. It goes about halfway down my paper. So no teeny tiny diagonal lines, no teeny tiny pigeons. We're working on using the entire paper for our art project. Now I'm gonna add another diagonal line that's right next to that one. And the pigeon in the story has this little white space right here. So what I'm gonna do on my diagonal lines, I'm gonna add a straight line this way and a straight line this way. So now he has that little thing on him that he does in the story. All right, now it's time for our pigeon's body. And this is just a combination of a straight line this way and a curved line this way to make his body. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come down here to this diagonal line. I'm gonna make a straight line. And I'm gonna go pretty close to the edge of the paper, but not all the way to the edge of the paper. And then for his body right here, we're gonna do a curved line out, and then it's gonna come down, and then it's gonna meet at our straight line that we made. So now it almost is kind of like a half circle or like a C shape down here, and then a straight line. Now the pigeon has a wing, which is also a curved line at the bottom. Go ahead and add your curved line. And then another curved line. So it's all lines. So now we have our wing. All right, the next thing that we need to add is our feet. The pigeon has two straight lines for his feet. And then at the bottom, he has 1, 2, 3 toes. And those are each lines. 1, 2, 3. So now we have our pigeon from the story. So our pigeon is drawn, but now we need these details. And if you remember from last week, details are things that we add to our drawing to make it more interesting. I added some diagonal lines at the bottom to make it look like he was standing on the floor. And then at the top, I added my own version of a wall or a background. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna add this line next right here. This line is called the horizon line, and the horizon line is where the ground meets the sky. So you're gonna take your pencil and all the way across to the pigeon's body, go ahead and make a line. So there's a line right here. And then on the other side, where we have this blank space, you're gonna finish off your horizon line. So now we have the horizon line to separate the ground from the sky. And in this case, our sky is gonna be our wall that we're gonna decorate, okay? So let's focus on the ground first, because that'll be easier. And my ground, I wanted some diagonal lines for the wood. So I added a diagonal line, then I scooted over a little bit, and I added another diagonal line to the edge of the paper. And then wherever I had space, I slowly added diagonal lines. Now notice each of my diagonal lines is an even space apart. So I'm not just drawing crazy lines everywhere. I'm gonna add another one. And I'm gonna keep going until I have diagonal lines all the way across my floor so the pigeon has somewhere to stand. So now I have diagonal lines on the floor. Now, the next thing that we're gonna add is the top. So what I want you to do, I'm doing this in marker, you should be doing it in pencil, like always. What we're gonna do is we're gonna color the background with our crayons first. And when I color my background, it should be all one color. My background is yellow. You don't have to choose yellow, you can choose a different color. If you want your wall to be blue, it can be blue. If you want your wall to be brown, you can do that, whatever color you want. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna add lines with your crayons from our line chart in your background. So if you notice, I have quite a few spiral lines because those are my favorite. I have a wavy line. I have a zigzag line. I have some diagonal lines. Here's another zigzag. Some wavy lines at the top. Some vertical lines, and remember that's just a fancy name for a straight line that stands up and down. And then I know a lot of you like the dotted line. I put a dotted line in there. Okay, so you're gonna decorate your wall with lines. So your background needs to be one color. My background is yellow. And then you can pick different colored crayons to do your silly lines with, to decorate your wall with, okay? So I'm gonna remind you guys how we should be coloring because some of you I've seen are doing it a little bit like scribble scrabble, and we wanna make sure we're not scribble scrabbling. I'm gonna start with the pigeon just to show you an example. The pigeon in the story is light blue. So you're gonna get out a blue or a light blue. So I've got my light blue. And remember, when we use our crayons, markers, or colored pencils, we wanna take our crayon and we wanna slowly go side to side. And I'm working really slow. When I work slow, it helps keep me inside the lines. We're not in pre-K anymore, so we really have to practice what our coloring looks like. So I'm going really slow, side to side with my crayon. And side to side means just I'm going one direction. You don't see me coloring like this. You see me coloring one direction. Nice and slow. I'm not getting out of the lines, and I'm making sure that all of my paper is covered with my light blue. Okay, so once I have my side to side done in my pigeon's head, then I can move on to the next part. Okay. And remember, this part in the story is white, so we can leave that blank if we don't have a white colored pencil. But if you do have or a white crayon, but if you do, you can go ahead and color that white. But if you don't, leave this empty and let the paper show through and scoot down to this part right here where his neck is. And I'm going side to side, coloring slowly. All right. Now, once I get my pigeon colored, then I have the choice to color my floor or my wall. And we're gonna color the wall before we add the lines. So you need to color the background before you add the lines. So step 1, color your wall. Step 2, get out your other crayons and add your line designs. You can have as many lines as you want. I chose to make mine look like he was kind of like at a party. So I did lots of different kinds of lines. So make sure you're using your line chart to remember all your lines and try to get every one of the lines that we've learned in the background, okay? If you have questions, you can send me a message on Class Dojo or on Google Classroom, or you can send me an email. But this is what your drawing should look like at the end of your class. So have fun and be safe. See you soon.